Morning, Steve Reed in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Looks like prices are higher overnight. January beans tested $11, and it suggested if we close over 10.90 on the Jan beans, we could test the 2016 highs of $12. Corn's higher, over $4. Wheat's higher, over $6 in Chicago, and looks like we're putting risk on. Funds continue to add on positions that they took off late in October before the election and also before um, the end of the month, try and square up and take risk off going into the election. There will be a stimulus package, we hope, after the election. And we'll just see how COVID impacts our economy. As far as weather is concerned, it remains dry across U.S. southern plains. It's dry in Russia, Ukraine. It's dry in southern Brazil and eastern Argentina. According to the National Weather Service, this is the second driest South American weather pattern since 2002. And 2015 and 16 was the only year in which it was drier than this so far. So we'll see how that impacts global trade, and we'll see how that impacts the final world carryouts. We are looking at average trade guesses for the November 10th USDA report: a lower corn crop, a lower bean crop here in the United States, lower corn and soybean carryouts, and globally lower carryouts, especially corn and beans. And the USDA could drop world corn production eventually 13 to 14 million metric tons. And but we do think that they'll continue to show Chinese imports at 7 million tons, and raises some question about their credibility, since they probably have bought more than that from all origins. Export sales 200 to 700,000 tons of wheat, 1.5 to 2.5 million tons of corn, 800 to 1.5 million tons of beans. Again, Ukraine corn exports could be down, South American production could be down, so that could help the U.S. Corn export number. Over in the beans, China has not bought for 20 days. We expect them to come in and buy. Watching the delayed plantings in Brazil could add to the U.S. demand, and we're looking at the possibility of a smaller U.S. crop, higher exports, could drop U.S. Soybean carryout below 100 million bushels. Again, we'll be watching any headlines as far as politics is concerned, watching headlines as COVID and the impact that it has. Last week, U.S. gasoline consumption was down 9% from the same time a year ago, which reduces ethanol demand. And we'll also be watching to see just what the fund activity is. They're adding longs back that they took off at the end of September, October. And we'll also be watching to see what the USDA says on November 10th and the impact that has on prices. Harvest pressure is probably over fairly soon from the U.S. Farmers in Argentina are not selling. Farmers in Brazil are not selling. Farmers in Russia are not selling. So all these things are kind of help push prices higher as we get to the end of U.S. harvest and as we approach the end of this calendar year. As always, these are my thoughts, not those of ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day, and remember, always treat people like you yourself would like to be treated.